Good evening on this Sunday evening, December 21st, 2025. It's an honor that you guys are here watching me. We're going to be doing a lot of discussion on this atmospheric river and future powerful storm systems that will be impacting much of California through Saturday. Yeah, today's only Sunday. We have 7 more days of this moderate to heavy rainfall periods in areas that have seen too much rainfall. And then, of course, we'll be talking about the wind as well, because the wind is going to be a really, really big concern with our next pair of storms that comes in on Tuesday night, and then again Wednesday night, and then even on Thursday night, we're going to have just a lot of stormy weather. So looking at the satellite imagery here, we can see, of course, zoomed out view. Then I wanted to show you something briefly with what's going on in Nevada, as well as some other locations, because it's quite interesting. Of course, looking at the zoomed out view, lots of moisture headed into the Bay Area. Finally, we're getting some rain. It was supposed to rain yesterday, and then it just got pushed back. And I was thinking that, is this a bust? Doesn't look like it's a bust, because we are going to get a lot of rainfall tonight into the day tomorrow before we dry out briefly on Tuesday, with more rain coming in after that. So good atmospheric river taking full aim into Northern California, where I'm telling you, wait until I show you the rainfall totals so far on the California Nevada River Forecast Center, where there has been a lot of rainfall falling across the higher elevations of the Sierra, and even in the North Bay, in those mountains like Ukiah up here in Crescent City, as well as Fort Bragg, as well as Point Reyes, Clear Lake, getting some pretty insane rain amounts over the last 36 hours, all because of this atmospheric river. And we zoom out even further, you might think, well, is that it, David? Is there more beyond this? How could there be more rain after this? Well, this is one area of moisture that is impacting California right now. This is what we call a atmospheric river. It's not really tied to a cold front, because it's just a fetch of moisture that just takes aim in one area for a long period of time. All this moisture is coming all the way down here from Hawaii, what is known as the Pineapple Express. And it just gets fed here between a ridge of high pressure over here, and we got a lower pressure up here in the Gulf of Alaska. And in between this, you get enhanced southwesterly flow and moisture transport into much of northern and even parts of central California, except really not a whole lot of moisture down there in Fresno at the moment, or even Big Sur, but that will change in the next 24 or so hours. But the second system is in the makings up here, and you might be like, whoa, way up there? Well, this is going to nosedive straight down here into much of the Pacific, and it's going to reinforce this atmospheric river moisture, so we end up just getting just a deluge of heavy rainfall, especially in this area that I've boxed out in yellow, is going to be the area pretty much through the rest of this week that is going to just get just nonstop rainfall. There will be times where it comes down heavier than other times, but I mean, if you're looking for studied rainfall, you might want to drive northward into Clear Lake, as well as Redding, Lake Shasta. That's where you're going to see a lot of that. Although tonight it's going to calm down a little bit, because this AR is going a little further south, but then it's going to retreat northward by late tomorrow night. So that's what that is. I wanted to show you something really cool that is tied to all of this, and you're probably wondering, like, how could it rain so much in the mountains of the Sierra and the Santa Cruz Mountains and not rain literally in the valleys? Well, this is all due to orographic lift in the atmosphere. So if we back this out, you can see, you would be surprised that, yeah, all of this right here and even up here, that is some very heavy rainfall and very thick cloud cover. Yet in Reno, you haven't gone hardly anything. probably less than 1/10 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch of rain since this all started Friday night. Yeah, I mean, I'm being serious. You're going from little rainfall, if any, on one side of the mountain to significant amount of rainfall and flooding over the higher elevations of the Sierra. And if you get high enough, say above 10,000 feet, you're running into some snow. That would be for the extremely higher elevations like Mount Whitney, Bear Valley, as well as Heavenly Mountain up there. You're getting a little bit of snow, but yeah, you're not finding it in Lake Tahoe, and that's just because this AR is transporting really warm air out of the southerly direction. And that's the thing with these atmospheric rivers. They're good rain producers, but they're not good snow producers at all unless they're really cold AR like nature. But in this case, this one is not one of those. But what it does end up doing, though, you get lenticular clouds, all right? So you can see these mountain wave-like cloud cover kind of animating, and this is a sign that there is very, very strong upper-level wind support for this to go on, and winds aloft here are over 100 knots at 500 millibars or 18,000 feet above the surface. Which is very, very strong. And what you end up seeing here is lenticular clouds that are really common with any system, but in particular, they're most prevalent when you get southwesterly flow Orographic to the mountain range here of the Sierras, and you get this mountain wave event on the backside, which is really cool. But at the same time, this is the same process on how orographic lift actually occurs. So before we get to the more meat and greeny part of this discussion, let's actually take a look here at what exactly is orographic lift, because it really is going to tie in to our rainfall totals throughout most of this week. Really, orographically favored areas will get the most rain. Areas that don't get a whole lot of rain won't see very much at all. And you're probably like, well, David, there's going to be like an inch or two of rainfall by the end of this week. Well, yeah, that's over a 9-day period versus other areas that could get 30 inches of rainfall in the same time frame. What's more, 1 or 2 inches or 30 inches? And you all are probably going to say, oh, yeah, 30 inches is a lot more, David. So this is what it really causes. All right. So kind of imagine this as the Central Valley. Ignore the water here. This is the only image that was best realized that I could find here. And so think of this as the Central Valley. This is the Sierra foothills, and this is the deserts, okay, which really says well here. And so as you get your air that moves, in this case, typically from southwest to northeast, right, it goes upslope, up the Sierra foothills into the mountains here. It squeezes all that moisture out, all that total precipitable water measured in inches, and we'll get to that here in a little bit. It squeezes out due to orographic, because air cannot go through these mountains, right? Air just doesn't go through land masses, right? That's impossible. It just never will happen. And so instead, the air has to be forced upward due to the orographic effect here of the Sierra foothills. And so what that does is it really squeezes out all the moisture. Think of the Sierra Mountains as a big sponge, and it just, you're getting super condensation going on, and you really squeeze this all out. And so, yeah, you might be over here, say in Stockton, Elk Grove, Sacramento, and even in Modesto, you're wondering, what do you mean, dude? It hasn't rained hardly very much at all. Well, instead, yeah, it has rained a little too much for the mountains, actually. And wait until you see the rainfall totals. Really going to put that orographic effect into perspective. And then once that air is overly saturated here, it falls, and like the air cools and sinks, and it warms as it does so due to adiabatic warming or kadiabatic warming as well. And so what you end up seeing here is really strong dry winds on the leeward side, the back side of these mountains here. And you might be like, whoa, it was so moist up here. How can it be so dry? Because when air sinks, it dries adiabatically. That's how mathematical physics work in the atmosphere. When you lift a parcel of air, you cool it off to its condensation level, depending on the surface-based moisture where the parcel is being lifted from. And when you sink that parcel of air downward, you're warming it due to compression. And as that does so, compression is a form of heating in this case. And so you heat the air and you dry it out on the leeward side. That's why, yeah, you can go from lushy green on one side of the mountains in the Sierras to bone dry desert on the other side. That's why, if you go to like on 395, you'll be like, whoa, this is all desert. But yeah, you go literally about 20 miles east of 395 near Carson City. Yeah, you're going to find a lot of lushy green pine trees, like a whole different thing. In fact, if you guys live in California or in like near Reno, Nevada, if it's safe to do so, don't do it this weekend, of course, because it's just going to be stormy and through Christmas. But once the weather settles down, take a drive from here and take a drive on Highway 89, that is not, well, actually Highway 88 branches off from Highway 89, and just take a drive through here and you'll see what I mean by that. It's pretty cool. Done it once. So now what you also get here, again, here's the Sierras, you get mountain waves. Okay, this is a mountain wave event that is in place here, and this is very dangerous for pilots. So I wouldn't be surprised any planes taking off out of Reno International Airport, there's a lot of turbulence going on because of this mountain wave event that we're seeing. But not only that, this is how orographic happens, because imagining if there was another mountain over here. So imagining this as a coastal range, here is the Sierras, you'll actually not get a whole lot of rain here, but instead the rain really develops on this side. It's terrible cloud drawing there, but you'll get a lot of rainfall on one side of the valley versus on the leeward side. Usually this is the driest part of a valley, and this is going to be the wettest side before you get into the mountains, if that makes sense. So that's why a lot of you have been wondering, wait, how is there a little bit of rainfall, but yet we're under a flood watch? Well, that's going to come later in tonight, and it's going to really get rough as we go into the day on Wednesday into Thursday, and that's because the upper level winds are going to change in a more favorable setup that does not allow for as much orographic flow. So right now our flow is doing this, as I just mentioned earlier. Our flow is out of the west-southwest, so it's hitting the mountains like this, and that's going to really favor the mountains here of the Sierra and the coastal range mountains with the heaviest rainfall. But our flow on Thursday, or mainly on Tuesday night into Wednesday, the flow is going to do more of this, all right? So it's going to be more parallel to the Cedar foothills and the coastal ranges, so that means everybody's going to get hit with a lot of rainfall. Even so, PWatts are going to actually be a lot lower than what we're seeing now. If this was orientated more from, say, north to south, this would be a very serious flood threat for the Central Valley, but not as bad actually for the Sierra foothills, and that's because not as much forcing along that. All right, so I wanted to show you here from the... is this the right one? Okay, hold on a second. There we go. I know this is zoomed in a little bit, but can you guys see this just fine? Let me know if you guys can see this, because I want to show you something pretty cool. Pretty cool, but very unfortunate. Sorry if that was too much of a discussion, but just so you all know that if you are a Californian like I am, you know how topography can mess with rainfall totals a lot. All right, so can you guys see this just fine? Want to just make sure. Okay. Yep. Heidi can see it. All right. So if one person can see it really well, that means everybody can see it really well. I wanted to show you 1 hour rainfall totals. All right. So yeah, in the last hour, it hasn't rained at all. Most of these gauges here, and this again is from the California Nevada River Forecast Center made by NOAA and the National Weather Service. You can actually just type in this link actually right here. Let me actually put that in the chat. This is a link you guys can go to. And what we're seeing here is not much rainfall in the last hour. And it's like, well, how is this a big flood threat if it hasn't rained a whole lot? Like 1/10 of an inch, maybe 2/10 of an inch, which is which is a good soaking rain. But you get into the foothills here, yeah, this is where it really has rained a lot. Some of these gauges picking up in the last hour, 2/10, 3/10 of an inch. We at Brush Creek here, rainfall rate here up to 1/2 inch an hour. Yeah, so that's where it's really been raining, and this is above Orville. So Lake Orville is here. This is Brush Creek up here. So it's raining pretty good there at 3,500 feet. And then you go to Quincy where it's coming down pretty good. But this is only hourly rainfall totals. Now let's look at the 12-hour rainfall totals because this is where it gets a little bit more significant in terms of rainfall. So, of course, in the Bay Area, hardly anything. San Jose, San Jose International Airport in the last 12 hours, no rainfall. But you don't have to drive very far south. And look at how much rainfall has fallen. Ben Lomond, 1 inch and 1/10 already. And really the heaviest rainfall has not fallen yet in that area. Very orographically driven. A lot of very low level moisture being forced up and over the coastal ranges here of Santa Cruz Mountains. It's where you're seeing a lot of it. And then look at this. You'd be really surprised. You don't get much rain here in, this is near Sausalito, San Rafael, and then you go up here into Woodacre. That's another station at 1,400 feet. Yeah, 2 inches of rainfall has fallen in the last 12 hours. So really orographically favored there. And then you go further north, got 2.5 inches in the last 12 hours, 3.25 inches. You go up here. Lots of 2s up here, 2.87, 3 inches up here in Laytonville in California. Let's see. Oh, yeah, here's a significant one. Shasta Dam. I think that's a little bit overdone. It could be, but I can see that happening. Almost 5 inches of rainfall. 5 inches of rainfall in the last 12 hours. Half of a day. 5 inches have fallen. That is very significant. That's why there are flood watches out. And in fact, there might even, I'll have to check the National Weather Service. There might even be flood advisories and flood warnings up here. And then you go along the Sierra. This is where it really gets hot and spicy. Orville, 3/4 of an inch, roughly 7/10 there. Not very much in the last 12 hours. Actually, 12-hour rainfall total, pretty significant there in a way. But look at this. You go up to Brush Creek, almost 5 inches. Look at this. 4 trees at 5,100 feet. Keep in mind, there's no snow falling at this elevation. This is all rainfall. 6 inches. 6 inches of rainfall. That is like, wow, that is pretty significant. Nothing compared to with what I'm about to show you, looking at the last 2-day rainfall totals. And you got 2 inches here and not much over here yet. But once that rain line sags further south, that's when I think Amador County is going to get a lot. Arnold, Murphy's, Mariposa eventually will get in on the rainfall overnight tonight before it lifts back north tomorrow night. Here's a look at the last 2 days, the last 48 hours, and this is something else right here. 4 trees, 13 inches, 13, almost 14 inches of rainfall. Okay, that's where it essentially hasn't stopped raining since this event started. You go further to the north, more like 4 to 5 inches of rainfall has already fallen in that period. 24-hour rainfall totals, pretty much similar. Here's one, again, 4 trees getting the most out of this. 24-hour rainfall totals of almost about 12 inches. So you can kind of think of it like this. In another 24 hours, because the rain's really not going to stop there very much, they could pick up 2 feet of rainfall in the next 24 to 36 hours. Yeah, I mean, that is since yesterday. That doesn't even include Friday. Oh, wait. Yeah, that does not even include Friday when it's been raining up there. That's why we always click on this and you can see the total. So it's really accumulating today. Is the big day for that area to get all that rainfall. And well, that water has to go somewhere, and it's going to get into Lake Orville, fill up that lake quickly, and then they're probably going to have to start releasing more water into the rivers, and those rivers come up. So that is a huge concern here with all of this rainfall that is not going to stop. Okay, we have all the way through Saturday, and I'll show you the model here in a little bit. But I did want to show you, let's click do that. Let's go to the forecast points here. So anything here as a dot shows us our river, what the forecast is for water levels. Now, these are not tide gauges. So if you guys are thinking, oh, it's high tide, the water is going to come up. No, not up here. You can see there's one area, the Sacramento River up here. This is this is the Tehama Bridge. So Sacramento River at Tehama Bridge. If we click on that, we can see that the river, okay, the forecast. So this is observed raw gauge. So the water level is a little bit lower than what was previously thought. More likely because it didn't rain. Yeah, I mean, lesser maybe discharges from nearby areas. But the river is going to come down a little bit. So Sacramento River is going to remain under action and monitor stage through Tuesday. But once we get that next good dose of rainfall and atmospheric river moisture on Tuesday night into Wednesday, this has the potential of becoming a big problem here, code orange, as we go into Thursday, where that river is forecast to reach minor flood stage. That's 209.5 feet. And this is almost 210 feet up here right around 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Tuesday, the 25th of December. So anyone living near this river needs to definitely be watching the water level very closely because, again, more additional rainfall is expected as we go throughout the rest of this work week. Especially the further north you go, it may not stop at all, and I wouldn't be surprised if they up this a little bit. The Russian River, that has some big potential there, and this is in Hopeland. Russian River at Hopeland, if we look at this, this is already above the forecast. So this is a little higher than what models previously thought. And this is expected to come down because it's really not flood controlled. So it's prone to big fluctuations here in the water level. But again, it's going to become a minor flood stage, come down a little bit, and then probably go back up again to potentially minor flood stage as we go into Thursday. So it looks like Wednesday early morning and then again probably Thursday afternoon. This could come up again to minor flood stage. So that's something to consider. If you're by a river, by a creek, stream, those are prone to flooding pretty easily because those are not flood controlled. The rivers that are flood controlled are the Sacramento River, the McCallum River, the Stanislaus River, the rivers that come off of reservoirs like this. They're flood controlled. That's the whole purpose. If we want to collect water in the Sierra into reservoirs, we can't let it go all at once. We have to let it out slowly through dams and other forms of transport. So that's what we have here. Over the next week or so is that the rivers that are flood controlled will likely reach action stage, but not, or monitor stage, I should say. Code yellow with most of our rivers here. But most of the other rivers here, the San Joaquin River, not expected to reach flood stage at all, which is great news for a lot of you that are worried about flooding near a river. But the flooding that you're going to see will have to be in poor drainage areas. So like streets that are clogged with leaves and junk, the water might kind of pile up in one area and you might see some flooding then. But the flooding that the National Weather Service is really concerned about, sorry about that, motorcycle went by. So the flooding that the National Weather Service is really worried about is going to be localized flooding, ponding on roadways, that sort of thing. And that comes tonight. And then it comes again on Tuesday night into Wednesday. So let's look at the models here. All right. So let's go to Pivotal Weather. And this is for Southern California, because Southern California will not miss out on the party either. So the HRRR, the 0Z forecast, shows again that orographic lift. I would say this is probably a bit overdone. I think many areas pretty much east of I-5 here through San Joaquin County, through Sacramento County, down into Stanislaus County, east of I-5, and maybe even east of 99 will likely see the most rainfall with this type of flow setup. Like areas like Tracy, you might only see another 1/4 of an inch to maybe 3/10 of an inch, versus Stockton, you might see about 1/2 an inch tonight into tomorrow, because again, that orographic setup. And it's very, very hard to pinpoint exactly who's going to get the heaviest. We've already seen a lot of moving parts that were unexpected here because of, all right, looks like the rain line is a little further north than what models showed. And this is reality with atmospheric rivers. Or it's like forecasting a hurricane, like a narrow corridor of constant rainfall. Not going to be easy for models to pin down, because in reality, maybe a little further south than what this model is showing, or a little further north, right? That's why I like to use Doppler radar for now casting this. So going forward here, we can see once the rain starts, this is, what time is this? This is 9 o'clock. So about 8 or 9 o'clock, the rain starts in my area. It really gets hard. It comes down pretty good here. In the Bay Area, it's coming down. In Auburn, Placerville, Quincy, it's coming down. Grass Valley, as well as Nevada City. Boy, if you're going to the mountains, yes, you might run into snow for sure. Maybe some minor chain controls. Snow levels will be high enough where I don't think that's going to be too much of a problem. But yeah, you're really going to need to watch your speed going into the foothills and the mountains, because of the rainfall rates here. Going to be pretty hard, and this is just going to be a fire hose turned on full all night long. This is what time is this? This is 9 in the morning, 10 in the morning, so it kind of lights off in the valley, but the foothills still getting that constant rainfall, and then maybe lightening up a little bit more like in the early afternoon hours on this particular model, but depending on what model you actually use will have something different. I know the NAM 12 kilometer has rain pretty much the entire day tomorrow. The HRRR, though, has kind of done a bit of a better job in the overall setup of this, so I'm probably going to trust this a teeny bit more than most other models, especially on a high-resolution standpoint. And then look at this goes north, okay? So really, where it's raining now, it's going to be raining there tomorrow night, and once it starts raining there, it's going to rain for a while. And it goes a little further north. So it actually goes north of Marysville, north of Chico, and back into Redding, Red Bluff. Yeah. And you can see here, too, snow levels do come down. The colder air moves in with this type of atmospheric river that moves in. So you can see that here. If we go back, you can see all rain up here. Go forward. Turns into snow. And you can even see here, the snow levels actually coming down a little bit. So that will be good news, at least for the water, or for the snowpack, because it's at historically low. And in fact, in many areas, it's at least 0%. That's unbelievable. That is a major snow drought on an exceptional scale. And then as we go into, let's see, this is Tuesday afternoon. So this is about 3 or 4. Starts raining again really hard, and the winds are going to be strong. This is that system that is going to have some very, very powerful winds with it. Unlike the rain that we're getting tonight doesn't have so much wind with it, but once this next piece of energy, impulse of moisture rolls through, not tomorrow night, but Tuesday afternoon into Wednesday, Probably going to see a lot of power outage reports coming in, a lot of downed trees, power lines, that sort of thing. And more wind also following on Thursday as well. So just a stormy week ahead. So now, another way we can look at this too is by looking at our PWatt values. So basically, this is just if you were able to squeeze out all of this moisture, how much rainfall would you get? I think it's for every 6 hours you would get out of this. So you can see the PWatts showing our atmospheric river, and these are pretty high. Anything above about an inch is fairly impressive, and anything above an inch in 1.4 inches, 1.5, that's getting up there into very moist territory. And so we can see here, notice this narrowing, this corridor, like pretty much right about in here. I'm going to draw a red line. So from about, I would say, right in here to right about in here. So this whole corridor is going to have the best chances of significant rainfall, even for the Santa Cruz Mountains. And this is going to be overnight tonight into early tomorrow morning. Okay, so you can see how this AR just kind of stalls right over Sacramento, right over Stockton, over the Central Valley, and it just sits there. It falls apart a little bit. You can see our PWatts coming down a little bit, and this lifts northward. So you can see our moisture content does come down a little bit. That's why I don't think the rainfall is going to be as heavy tomorrow afternoon in the foothills as what we will be seeing tonight into early tomorrow morning. And then once the next plume comes in, you'll see things go back into working order. But this time, notice how the AR is pointed like this. So note it's kind of aimed like that instead of like that. So that makes a whole bit of difference. And that's why if you go to our precipitation forecast, everybody's getting the rain. You don't see so much orographic effects here. It's raining, like you can see here, it's raining in San Jose. It is raining in Tracy. Instead of it really just being focused over the higher elevations, it is raining pretty good here in Sacramento. And even the higher elevations, you get some snow, which is telling that we have a cooler air mass moving in. But that's going to come with it some wind. And actually, yeah, so let's go to rainfall totals on our HRRR. And these are hourly, by the way. And so we can see right about in here. Yeah, so right here, got some minor areas. By the way, Easy, thank you for becoming a member. Upgrade to Category 2. So Santa Cruz Mountains here, 0.6 of an inch of rain per hour. You can see some of the higher elevations here between 0.3 to about 0.5 inch of rain an hour. And you might think 0.5 inch of rain an hour, that's not very heavy. It's not like an inch an hour like some of you might see, but over 6 hours, do the math. That's going to be a lot of rainfall. And in fact, if we look at this on a 6 hourly standpoint, yeah, some areas here can get 3 inches in 6 hours. That's a lot of rainfall. That is a lot. And a lot of rainfall down here. And again, eastern side of the valley, east of I-5, I think is the best chance to get the most. And then look at this, Santa Cruz Mountains, 2 to 3 inches of rain per 6 hours. Look at San Jose, though, only 0.3 of an inch of rain in the 6 hour period. So yeah, terrain is really a matterful hand here in this setup. As we go forward, you can see most of the rain will start here and then sag southward. It's that. So that's the look at the rainfall. And we just kind of solely base this off of the HRRR, which doesn't go, only goes out to 2 days. Some of the higher elevations here could get another 6 to 8 inches of rain. I wouldn't be surprised if isolated areas might even get another 9 inches of rain in 2 days, maybe even 10 inches in 2 days. That does not surprise me at all. So that would be really bad. You already gotten more rainfall Again, some areas up here have seen 13 inches of rain, while another 10 inches. That makes 23 inches. And this is through Tuesday afternoon. That does not include Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, or even Saturday. So that is, I'm telling you, if it's hard to say, we'll know more by Saturday just how much, because we could even go through here and look at, we can look back at the last 7 days of how much rainfall has accumulated. So that is going to be a concern. Too much rainfall. So now a lot of you are probably asking, well, how much more rainfall will accumulate? Well, on the national blend of models, still thinking about 3 to 4 inches of rainfall. Oh man, little kid down there screaming for their dad. So I wouldn't be surprised if Stockton ends up a little lower on this end. So more like maybe 2 inches of rainfall, maybe through Saturday or Sunday. Maybe the same for Modesto. But areas pretty much along the Sierra foothills and eastern side of the valley here might get at least 3 to 4 inches. Sacramento could still have another 5 to 6 inches of rainfall. And then look at the higher elevations here. Quincy up in there, another 16 to 18 inches of rainfall before this is all said and done. And that, again, is from the national blend of models. This is a average put together from all models indicating how much rainfall you could see here. And then, of course, down further south in the valley, you might see only 2 inches, which is decent for Bakersfield and Visalia. Fresno, maybe 3 to 4 inches of rainfall because it's on the eastern side there. But Southern California, yes, look at this. Some of the mountainous terrain here could get almost a foot of rainfall, and that would primarily be coming from about Wednesday. So it's dry tomorrow, so don't freak out here. And it's dry for a good chunk of Tuesday, but as we go into Tuesday night, that's when the rainfall really picks up here, and it really accumulates with the 2 storms that move through. So while you're like, where's the rainfall at, David? When is it going to come? Looks like Tuesday, late afternoon, all the way through Wednesday and Thursday, and even into Friday, you're going to be seeing rainfall. By the time this is all said and done, Southern California, like Los Angeles, could see 6 inches, but because of the topographical effects there, like the San Gabriel Mountains, the Santa Monica Mountains, you could locally see over a foot of rainfall in some areas, possibly even 1.5 feet of rainfall. So, excuse me. So that is going to be the concern for Southern California with more mudslides, rock slides, landslides, that sort of thing. You've been through this before, and I'm just warning you, you're going to probably have to deal with it again as more rainfall impacts your area. But for sure, major creek flooding, river flooding, the rivers that are uncontrolled up here. Sacramento's a controlled flooded or a flood control river, so they can let out water in different amounts at different times. But I'm just letting you know, straight flooding is a guarantee here. So now that we talked about that, let's talk about the snow. And actually, let's go back and let's look at, let's see, regional models. Yeah, let's look at the NAM because that goes out to 84 hours. Actually, is the RFS even available on here? The RFS. Oh, yes, it is. I don't know. This one should be pretty accurate. It's more high resolution. It seems to resolve the low that's coming up on Tuesday night with the European model. The NAM doesn't resolve it as good, so that's why I'm going to use the RFS here, because this kind of gives us an idea for the mountains. So now, for those that are snow lovers, this is for you. But for people that want to get to the mountains in time for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, do it tomorrow, even so it's raining in the mountains, maybe a little bit of wet, slushy snow. Check with Caltrans to see if chains are required, but do not travel in the Sierra on Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. Those are days to avoid for sure. And here's why. So as we go again through tomorrow, snow levels will more likely be at about 7,000, 7,500 feet. So like Donner Pass, you might see a rain snow mix from time to time. So snow levels will be right up at that pass level. Echo Pass, Ebbets Pass, you're going to see rain snow mix at those pass levels tomorrow because the air is going to be just too warm to support snow down to like say 5,000 feet. But as we go forward here, you can see the snow level here coming down. See this blue? It moves this way. It moves from east to west, and it gets broader, which means snow levels drop. And you can see even here, Lake Tahoe outlined on this map, indicating that, okay, it's raining at lake level, and you might get some flurries even down to that level in the next couple of days. But it's really as we go into, actually, make sure I got this right. Okay, yeah, so this is tomorrow. So it's at around about 7,000 feet, and it stays the same as we go into Tuesday and a Wednesday. But as we go through, actually, wait. Oh, yeah, Tuesday and a Wednesday. But during the day, Wednesdays, when the snow falls, the level comes down. And you can see that there. And then it kind of dissipates. But once that moisture revamps up again, see how fatter this is? This is much wider. These are snow levels that are much lower, okay, down to about 5,000 feet, 5,500 feet. And then with more moisture coming in, I wouldn't be surprised to see snow levels come down to even 4,500 feet as we go into, say, Thursday morning into actually Thursday morning, they'll probably be at about 5,000. It's Friday when the cooler air moves in. I think snow levels will come down a little bit more. So heed my advice here. Don't travel in the mountains on Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. Please do not. If you need to travel in the mountains on Interstate 80 or Interstate 50, do so tomorrow and Tuesday. In fact, Tuesday, if you don't like the rain in the mountains, do Tuesday. Tuesday is your last opportunity to get to Reno, to get to South Lake Tahoe, to get to Carson City, to get to Truckee, to get anywhere through the mountains. Do so Tuesday is the best day. Tomorrow, just a lot of rain in the mountains, maybe some slushiness on the roadways at pass level, but it's really going to be Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Don't travel. Don't go unless you really need to, because if you do go, expect maybe some road closures, blizzard conditions due to the powerful, strong winds that are going to be coming with these systems, and even some avalanche danger in the higher elevations. Yeah, that's going to be a big hazard, and any backcountry skiing is very dangerous in these kind of conditions. So my best of will is for you all to avoid the mountain, travel through the mountains on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So let's go and look at the snowfall amounts here for the mountains here on the National Blend of Models. This is through the weekend, so through basically Saturday. Just take note, snow levels are going to be very high tomorrow, so any good accumulation is going to be really high up tomorrow. And then as we go forward, this really accumulates. And then we get into Sunday morning. Some of these areas, that's 150 inches of snowfall on the ground. And let's do the math here. So inches would be really helpful if they just converted this. So 150 inches, that's 12 and a half feet of snowfall in some of the higher peaks of the mountainous terrain through Saturday. Yeah, that's a lot of snowfall. That's a lot of water. I'll tell you, though, that's going to be good for our runoff in the spring. The more snow we can get throughout the winter months, this is good for snowfall runoff or water runoff gradually as the spring snowmelt comes. California, as you know, we rely on our snowpack. A lot of you back in the Midwest that are watching this are like, oh, snow is terrible for us. Well, yeah, because you don't really have a lot of that snow to fill up your reservoirs. You don't. The spring snow melt in the Midwest is not as important as it is in California for our watersheds, because we have all these reservoirs lined up here along the Sierra Foothill mountain range. Even Lake Shasta, you got some reservoirs like Clear Lake over here. This is how we get our water that gets to cities like the Bay Area, the San Joaquin Valley. It's all from these reservoirs, and we can thank the snow during the wintertime for that. That's why we're very concerned about, oh my gosh, we're 0% of normal right now, because all the snow, if we got any in November and October, we had really good rainfall, but the snow wasn't really that good. It all melted away because of our recent warm stretch and dry weather that we've had in late November into early December. But yeah, some of these higher elevations here, might get 160 inches of snowfall. Like Mount Whitney could have 200 inches of snowfall. It's a lot of snow in that area. All right, enough with the snow. So for those that are skiing, probably not the best news that you want to hear about, but it is what it is, This year is just not a good Christmas for a lot of you that want to travel in the mountains. Like I said, do it Tuesday, though. Then it could end up being a good Christmas. The best Christmas present ever is to go up into the mountains and enjoy some snow, right? But you'll probably have to go a little higher than 6,000 feet to find it, right? So let's talk about the wind. The wind is going to be a big problem, a serious byproduct problem with our storms. The rain is good. The snow is good. For the higher elevations, but the wind that these storms are going to bring, though, will be a big problem. We're looking at power outages, down tree branches, and even some closed roads because roads are blocked because of fallen trees, that sort of thing. So let's take a look here at the wind forecast. So as we move forward here, so you can see the winds are going to go flat, so we're not worried about any power outages through Monday. The winds are going to be nice and light tomorrow. In fact, they're even going to be calm. There's not much wind to worry about tomorrow into tomorrow night. So nothing to be concerned about. Now in the mountains, it's going to be quite windy still with that upslope flow, but it's this low down here. Keep an eye on that. Got good southeasterly flow here. You got good northerly flow. So this is a low that's developing down here off the California coast, and as it moves up, watch this. Watch this. Yeah, that gets strong. So now our winds come up in the valley. In the Central Valley, in the Bay Area, the higher elevations in the Sierra, this is during the day Tuesday. So Tuesday morning starts off nice and quiet, and then throughout the day, the wind comes up, and it gets pretty strong here. Especially along the coast here, you can see lots of green and yellow here. The NAM tends to slightly underdo the winds for what it's worth. I'll show you some different models here that show the winds in a little bit, but this here shows winds on the order of about 20 to 30 miles an hour throughout the Central Valley. In the foothills, you got winds that are just as strong. And along the coast here, we could have winds sustained up and over 40 miles per hour, even close to 50 miles per hour. That's going to be enough to cause very dangerous beach conditions. So if you also are wanting to go to the beach and watch the big surfing waves, whatnot, don't do so. It is going to be very, very dangerous. We're looking at some coastal flooding as well. And even some beach erosion due to some very large crashing waves as this storm rolls through. That southerly wind swell is going to be very strong. And this is as far as the model goes, but shows very strong winds throughout the Sierra into the valley here. And if we take a look at our wind gust forecast, let's actually look at the Sacramento Valley. So we go back here. This shows a nice good chunk. Actually, yeah. This is the Bay Area. Watch this. So the wind gusts really do come up as we go into Tuesday evening. We're looking at gusts between 20 to 30 miles an hour, and then eventually getting into about 40 to 50 by Tuesday night. This model keeps gusts right around 45 miles an hour up and down the valley, including Sacramento, close to 50 there. But that's one model. Let's look at another model, the RFS experimental model. So it's used with great caution, but eventually the NAM, I think, is getting retired. I think next year, 2026, I think they're going to retire that model eventually. So let's look at the RFS model. See what this one shows with the winds. Yeah, see, look at this right here. Very, very strong. That's 40 to 50 mile an hour winds along the coast. In the valley, look at this. Look at all that red. That is very, very strong. That will be enough to really cause problems. Power outages, certainly a thing. Look at this right up in here. Northern Sacramento Valley, 30. This is clean surface. This is 80-meter wind, so we extrapolate that down to about 25-ish miles an hour. But boy, this is going to be a windy storm system. Tuesday night into Wednesday is the first windy storm system, and then we got another one behind that slated for Wednesday night into Thursday. So if your power does not go out with this storm system on Tuesday night into Wednesday, certain power outages are to occur Wednesday night into Thursday, because that storm system looks definitely stronger than the one that's going to be rolling through on Tuesday night into Wednesday. This does not have wind gusts, which is annoying, but I would assume with winds this strong, this is a clean surface wind at around 100 feet above the surface, maybe 200 feet. I wouldn't be surprised to see wind gusts over 50 miles an hour up and down the valley, possibly on the northern end of the valley, possibly getting close to 60 miles an hour. Again, that's enough to blow down power lines, trees, even property damage or Christmas decorations will probably blow down as well. Those inflatables, if you know what I'm talking about, those will certainly blow away if they are not secured properly. So keep that in mind. A lot of Christmas decorations might go missing under this type of wind event that's slated. And then as we zoom back out and look at the 12-kilometer NAM, because that goes a little further out, because that will show us wind gusts. So the first wind event, that's the one that we talked about, and then there's another one after that. Towards the very end of the model run, again, similar strength than the first one. You can see the red here, and you can see possibly even stronger for Thursday morning. And look at the winds up and down the valley here, 25 to 35 miles an hour. That is very strong. When you take a look at our wind gusts, all this orange and red illustrates wind gusts up and over 50 to 60 miles an hour. So that is going to be a big hazard with the next two systems. The last couple of systems, other than the far northern end of the valley, did have wind, but most of us haven't had the wind with that last system. The next two have much more wind energy with them. And in fact, if we look at the low-level jet forecast, I wanted to show you this. So 925 millibar winds. Yeah, we got winds up and around 58 to 62 knots at 2,000 feet. 850 millibar winds over the valley with this second system. Hurricane force at 70 to 75 knots. That is pretty extreme. And if we go back and look at the first wind event, yeah, this one has even stronger winds, especially on the northern end of the valley where low-level winds are almost 80 knots. Actually, no, those are 80-knot winds. You can see the plot right here. That's this area right up in here. That is pretty ferocious. 925 millibar winds up and down the valley here. That is 66 knots. Excuse me there. So hurricane force up and down the valley and even along the coast. So yeah, power outages certainly a big problem. And I wouldn't be surprised if there are high wind watches out from the National Weather Service. Actually, yeah, they don't have anything out yet. They don't have anything out just yet. But wouldn't it be surprising to see wind products out on the next couple of systems here in the next 24 hours or so, or even sooner than that. All right. Do you guys have any questions? Great to see 130 people watching this live stream. Even so, it's not impacting you all back in the Midwest, because really there's nothing to talk about in the Midwest. In fact, if you want me to, since I love you guys so much, let's actually talk about the Midwest while I get to questions, because I'll tell you, what do you see on this map? All of it's in California, and even in parts of the northern mountainous range into Montana, Wyoming, Idaho. But yeah, look at this. Literally, there's not one significant watch or warning east of the Rockies, although there is a small area, some counties under winter weather advisories due to some lake effect snow. But my goodness, it is one heck of a honking dead ridge in the Midwest here. Although there's some dense fog advisories, that's pretty dangerous, but that's not like a winter storm warning. So all the activity is really back west. It really is. In Nevada, more Californians moving here than people moving there. Oh yeah, California is expensive. My goal eventually is to move in the Midwest eventually, probably in the next 10 or 15 years, because it is expensive in California. Can't stand it here. I really can't. I'll miss my atmospheric rivers. Actually, if I lived anywhere, probably be... Actually, I do enjoy living in California because of the weather that we get. So if anything, I would live in the mountains. I would live in the Sierra Mountains, like Lake Tahoe. Maybe Truckee is probably where I would move to. Or along the coast up here, like in Crescent City. No state taxes here. I know. Can you talk a little bit about Southern California? Absolutely. So for Southern California, certainly you will get a lot of rainfall. Actually, let's do the GFS, because, you know, the GFS has been ignored throughout this whole discussion, because the global models don't go as far out as what our high-res goes. So this is the GFS model. Did this finish rendering? Okay, it did finish. So, of course, we talked about this next system, and boy, that is some heavy, heavy rainfall right there for Southern California. Okay, so Santa Monica Mountains, the Tehachapi Mountains, the San Gabriel Mountains, boy. Fire hose is aimed right straight for your guys' heads with this band of really heavy rainfall, and it wouldn't surprise me if there are water spouts or tornadoes. We saw that back in November. We saw that back in October as well with some of the ARs that went through here. So it doesn't surprise me if there is more additional severe weather issues down here in SoCal with the passing of this next cold front. Strong winds. We're talking about damaging winds, especially over the greater Central Valley into the Bay Area. Not as windy, though, down here in Southern California, but man, that is a lot of heavy rainfall right there. A lot of orange on the screen. That illustrates some big-time heavy rainfall. There will certainly be flooding, by no surprise, flash flooding, maybe some debris flows for sure, along to go with landslides and mudslides. That is going to be a concern with this passing of this atmospheric river. And take note of all the purple on your screen. That's heavy Sierra snowfall for the higher elevations. Thank you for becoming a tropical storm. Grime Gorilla, I appreciate that. So that atmospheric river moves through, and then you might think, oh, is that it, David? Is there another storm system coming in? Yes, there's more impulses of significant rainfall that will rotate around this upper level low into California. So yes, the main rain event is going to hit SoCal as we go into Wednesday into Thursday. But then look at what we got. Another impulse of moisture, and this is the next one that has the stronger winds, and that is a very, very strong low pressure system. Look at that. Bottoms out at 980 millibars. Even the European has a 975 millibar low riding up the coast of California. That would really be substantial. So both significant rainfall and wind for Southern California Tuesday night and a Wednesday, for a good chunk of Wednesday, and then it's really going to be north again, back into Central and Northern California to get that next round of strong winds and heavy rainfall. And then maybe another pulse of moisture wrapping all the way around. When you have a cutoff low like this, you can get these satellites of lows and impulses of moisture that constantly rotate around. And so you can see here, Southern California, after this AR moves through, you're going to settle down with the majority of your rainfall. Still see some times of showers, some times of dry conditions. But boy, Central Northern California, you get more rainfall. Kind of settles down a little bit before another impulse rolls through on Friday. Actually, Friday for Central and Northern California, it could be downright stormy, actually. We thought earlier on last week, we thought maybe Friday would be a dry day, but looks like Friday is shaping up to being a bit of a stormy day. Strong winds, heavy rainfall, and very heavy Sierra snowfall. Look at those snow levels, way lower than what we are having right now. And then it looks like things should settle down by early Saturday morning. Most of Saturday looks a lot better, though. I would include a shower in there through the rest of Saturday. And then it looks like Sunday will be much drier as we get into New Year's Day, or New Year's week, I should say. So, yeah, pretty much stormy. I'm calling it a stormy week ahead. Even so, there will be breaks like this and like this. You know, it's not stormy all the time, but just make sure your umbrella is working really well, I should say, because that's going to be the theme going forward. And yes, since the weather is going to be very active, I am planning on live streaming Tuesday night if needed. If the winds are going to get extremely strong and powerful, I'm going to be going live storm tracking, or live weather storm tracking our event here. That was a great weather report. Thank you. I appreciate it. Eastern Sierra skies. You must be in the Sierra, right? Eastern Sierra skies? Let me know if you are. And if you are in the foothills, hold on. Yes. Sorry about that, you guys. Sorry for the interruption. I wish. Love Bishop. Oh, nice. Oh, yeah, Bishop's over there along 395. Yeah. Oh, wait. Yeah. That place gets very windy. GFS AI model. Let's see how good it is. Oh, yeah. I wanted to kind of tie on to that. Yeah. Do you guys ever notice that they have a new model out there? The artificial intelligence GFS. It seems like the Europeans and the United States are competing against each other with which model can they make better, right? So we do have the artificial intelligence model, believe it or not. I'm curious to see how good it's going to be. We have more models, that means. I mean, if you think about it, let's go to the west. So if you think about it, let's see how many models we have here. Global models. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there are 6 global models at our disposal that we can use. The UK Met, I don't usually use that because it's not very high resolution, at least on my end that I use. So I use the other ones. Let's go to the AIG. I call it the GI model. Okay, just say GI with me, folks. Like I use the European as the APHIS, I use the GI model because Global Intelligence Model is what it is. It just makes it easier because it's a tongue twister, if you guys can ever say it properly. All right, so let's actually look at what our pattern's looking like down the road. Yeah, so there's that system, maybe in the extended range. Actually, New Year's Day, my bad, might actually not be so pleasant. See about that. And then see what this does right here. But man, I'll tell you, a lot of undercutting. That's been the theme for a while now. A lot of this subtropical jet pretty darn active. You don't see that very often. And so you can see the merge of the subtropical jet here, the polar jet coming on down like this. Boy, that is a La Wimpo pattern. It's not really La Nina-like, more like El Nino-like. Only if we can get rid of, well, this ridge would be more amplified, then maybe we can dig down more of these troughs into our area. But what a crazy pattern that is, actually. And here's the 18Z GFS. Talk about this pattern. That is a big old fat ridge of high pressure. The nav model, wait, what? There's no nav model. I did want to show you all just how warm, so that way I don't really have to make a video tomorrow morning. I'll probably take the day off tomorrow to making a video, just because I'm including it in my discussion tonight. Let's take a look at, actually, I'll definitely do something for YouTube tomorrow, just not a video in the morning. We'll just sleep in for once, right? I need my extra beauty sleep, you know? So, man, I'll tell you, right here, this is Christmas Day. Wow, what a warm pattern that is right there. I'm sorry, folks. I wish I can bring you all a white Christmas. Doesn't look like a white Christmas at all for many areas. Actually, no white Christmas expected at all. How about that? You want something worse? I just gave you something worse. It is going to be pretty darn warm pretty much across the entire nation, except for lucky viewers that are watching this live stream and you're like, well, not me in the extreme northeast. Yeah, not you. But there's the majority that are going to see warmer than average temperatures. I mean, I don't recall it being this warm for the Midwest in a long time. I mean, look at that. That's 35 degrees above normal, 36, 38 degrees above normal in St. Louis, Missouri for Friday early morning. Yeah, if you are complaining about how warm it is, yeah, I understand where you're coming from on that. See what the European model is illustrating. Yeah, its European model is also on board with this. Very, very warm. I mean, quite crazy to say the least. And this is for Friday during the day. Temperatures 38 degrees above average, just south of St. Louis, Missouri. Look at Indiana. Look at central Illinois. This is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous just how warm it actually is. It just unheard of. And then It just doesn't end. It doesn't want to end at all. Yeah, look at this. This is for Saturday. Nice, good punch of colder air comes in. So maybe a pattern change there, only to warm up again after that. Yeah. Is this La Nina or Enzo neutral? No, this is La Nina. We're definitely in a La Nina. That is for sure. We're definitely in a La Nina, but the pattern is not responding well to that. Literally, it is not. It's like La Nina doesn't even exist. This undercutting is like, wait, where's La Nina? It doesn't even exist anymore. You know, it is just crazy. It really is. Hey, I'm fine with that. Hey, we can get rain in January, a lot of it. We don't need another mega drought in the West. We really don't. But I do feel bad for a lot of you that are not going to get hardly anything. And I mean, I'm seeing that. I'm being serious about it. Over the next 10 days, some of you in the Southeast may not even know winter even exists because it's going to be very dry and warm. And yeah, look at all that red. All that red actually denotes just how dry it's going to be. All in this brown is really bad news. Really, really bad. In fact, some areas in Tennessee could have rainfall amounts 3 inches below average. Summer and fall didn't feel like La Nina, well, at least not in the Midwest again. We've been pretty lucky in California. In the West, we've gotten what we needed. A nice, cooler than normal summer, at least in my area, a rather cold fall. I mean, it hasn't been that bad in this fall for us, at least in my area. Now, in the foothills, out of the fog deck, we have had that month-long stretch of Thule fog. We actually, above us, was actually well above average. All-time records were actually being tied. But boy, I'll tell you though, yeah, you're not liking this forecast. That's why I also haven't been uploading every day, because there's really nothing to talk about. There really isn't. It's not that I don't want to upload anymore. It's just like, man, there's just nothing to discuss. That might be the case going forward. Yeah, over the next 15 days. Yeah, look at this. More brown, more below average rainfall anomalies over the eastern half of the country versus in the West, above average, wetter than it should be. So, yep, if you're in the brown and red, I am so sorry. You're just not getting lucky. You're not getting lucky that you want. Is the GFS AI going to do good during the 2026 hurricane season? That's a good question. We don't know because it just got introduced. We shall see. We shall see. I know the Google DeepMind AI models are really good. They're the go-to models. But yeah, I wanted to show you all something really quickly. This is my weather station data. Live in real time. Oops. Uh-oh. Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. See, that's fixed. Good. So, yeah, this is my weather software. 60 degrees outside, by the way. It is really mild tonight outside. And hard to believe it is 77 degrees in my room right now. Don't worry about that 71. That's actually downstairs because this is coming from my WeatherLink compartment. This is live right now. Now I can click on this and look at it. Gives me how high the ceiling, the cloud deck is. Gives me all this information. Pretty cool, isn't it? All right. Any questions, anybody? You guys might want to ask. Any questions? 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts can take out power lines. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's going to be the concern. Actually, let's see what the GFS actually shows in my area for wind. Oops, not that, of course. Go to this. Oh, actually, you know what? Let me just use this. This is better. See what the GFS shows for wind. Oh, yeah, that is definitely stronger. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's definitely notable right there. Yeah, wind gusts over 50 even on the GFS. So there is confidence on our high-res models. Sure, they're going to have wind advisories out or even high wind watches. And definitely with our next storm coming in, we're going to have winds that are strong too. Looks like Wednesday, early afternoon, the winds are going to pick up. And then the second piece of winds come through. And that is 35-mile-an-hour winds with gusts up to 60 miles an hour in my area. So that is going to be pretty darn intense. So definitely some wind for sure. Definitely some wind on that system. Oh, yeah. Golly. That low-level jet is going to be screaming. Yeah, look at that. 70-knot jet over my area. Looks like that's... Oh, there may be another storm after that. Boy, that cutoff low wants to sit over us for a while, though, before the next storm comes in. Florida weather sucks. Yep. That's why I don't want to live in Florida. I don't want to live there. It's too warm. It is just too warm for me. Can't deal with it. Can't stand it. I mean, gosh, you guys are going to have temperatures in the low 80s. I'm not a fan of that, literally. I mean, imagining it being in the 80s for Christmas. I mean, it's not fun. That is not exciting. That really isn't. Oh, you guys could have the warm weather. That's fine with me. As long as you guys have it, we are going to have our fair share of nice weather. All right. I think that's it. I think I'm done for the night, unless you guys have questions. Vero Beach is a disaster area. Los Angeles, if I am not mistaken, was almost 80 degrees last year on Christmas. I think I do recall it being 80 degrees, yes. And also recently, it was in the upper 80s there. But that's very, very rare for Southern California. That's like steroids. Unless you get the Santa Ana winds, then it's a different story. But it doesn't happen very often. See if it's raining in my area. Literally, are you serious? We still don't have rain, and it's supposed to start raining at 8 o'clock tonight. Like 9 o'clock. Literally, this is getting delayed and delayed. Yeah, I don't think we're going to get rain tonight. I'm starting to lean away from that. I just don't think it's going to happen. It's raining east of me, but not over my area. It's going to have to rain soon, though. It really will have to dump. Maybe overnight, maybe midnight. It'll surprise me. I hate atmospheric rivers. I really do, because they are unpredictable. You just don't know where and when is it going to rain and how much, just, yeah. Yeah, this is underperforming for areas, he says. Yeah, for my location, definitely underperforming. Stockton, definitely underperforming. Modesto, underperforming. Sacramento, yeah, back and forth. I'm actually impressed on how well the NAM has done with this. Like 2 days ago, the NAM was only showing my area getting about 0.2 of an inch. I'm like, yeah, that's not going to happen. Might actually end up verifying. So, but definitely we are going to get the next storm system for sure Tuesday night and a Wednesday. What will the winds blow away in SoCal? So let's go to that again, the GFS model for the California region. Let's look at the winds down there. So for Southern California, it's going to be breezy. I don't think it's going to be super windy at all. Maybe 15 to 20 mile an hour winds is all you're going to see. And then yeah, I don't think it's going to be super windy for Southern California at all. Higher elevations will certainly see some wind, but I really don't think for like Los Angeles you're going to see a whole lot. Again, with the first system coming through, you're going to see definitely some elevated winds. That will be for Tuesday night and a Wednesday, but nothing like Northern or Central California. I dread high winds in SoCal after last January. 100 mile an hour winds. Oh, yeah. You mean February storm? Oh yeah, the February 4th storm, that was steroids. I wouldn't be surprised. We'll see what the models do in the next few model runs. I mean, this storm coming in, not really this one. This one has the potential. This one right here could be a big one. This one has the potential of being like, I mean, gusts up to 60 miles an hour. I mean, that's big time. That is big time. And there is a 59, 60 mile an hour wind gust plot right there on the GFS, which is not the highest resolution model. So the fact that it is picking that up is pretty alarming. That is alarming. And given the RFS model, picking up similar winds really, really is something I'm going to really be watching. Because that right there, I mean, 30 to 40 mile an hour winds are definitely a possibility. That would be two. Oh, no, that would be only one this year. But golly, in under 2 years. What's up, Nate? How are you doing? Nate, it's been a while. I'll tell you, Nate. We got to talk after this live stream. I haven't talked to you in a while. I'll tell you, these two windstorms are going to be big. Really, they're going to be big. What I want to do, though, is get my drone out and just fly it around a little bit. It's been a while since I last flew my drone. And I'm hoping Tuesday I can get it out and fly it while the weather is still calm. Somewhat calm. If it's not raining a lot. Because, boy, Wednesday will not be a fly day. Wednesday is going to be a day that I cannot fly my drone. Yeah, so is there any part of SoCal that could see strong winds? No. Well, San Luis Obispo has a better chance of seeing winds. But I think the further south you go, the lesser the chances of winds you're going to get. Again, looking at the RFS model, I mean, winds in LA, in the metro area, 10 to 20 miles an hour. But San Luis Obispo, you have a better shot of getting some stronger winds. So, yeah. Hello, Michael. How are you doing? I know a lot of you are probably wanting a big storm out there in the Midwest, but I just don't see anything big. I don't. And yeah, I can talk after. Sweet, Nate. I want to talk to you a little bit after to catch up. If you don't own property in Florida, you're missing out. What is a power flash? Well, that's when your power lines flash and it glows up the whole sky. That's when you hear the term power flash, that's what people are referring to. Because it's basically plasma. The power line is physically melting because of high voltage of electricity and amperage. So it will glow so bright it lights up the whole sky. It can be and is typically brighter than lightning in itself. Also, make sure you do subscribe and like the live stream, folks. It does help out a lot because I am going to be doing more live streaming, especially if things go as planned with what the models are showing for Tuesday night and Wednesday night will both be live stream nights because of our big storm that we're going to be seeing. And what I think I'm going to just do, because I want to enjoy it myself, is probably just run the camera, run the live stream, and you guys watch it along with me. Do you guys want me to go live on that Tuesday night? Let me know in chat. So, my gosh, that storm, dude, that's going to be big. That is going to be a big storm. Look at the curly Q on that. Seriously. That is a serious curly Q. That's the beast right there. That's a beast of a storm. Here's our storm that we're getting on Monday. Look at that curly Q. Oh my gosh, that is going to be insane. Oh man, I can't wait. I'm so excited. I hope the rain doesn't shut down after New Year's. For our area, same here. We need the rain. We need the water. Yes, go live on Tuesday. Yes, please. All right. The strongest winds I've seen here was from the December 9th, 2014 storm. And how strong was that? Aga, how strong was that one? My cat is desperately trying to capture your cursor. Oh my gosh. Kitty, kitty. Look. Let me see if I can make the cursor big enough. I want to make the cursor big. Look at kitty, kitty. Actually, let me make it a little smaller. Here we go. That's from Emily 238. I love cats in that way. But yeah, this is definitely a big storm. I'm excited, actually. I hope and models stick to their prediction. Because if that happens, I'm telling you, it's going to be a big one, which most likely it will be. Especially this one right here. This is the storm of the season right here, potentially. He loves it, laughing out loud. Oh, it's nice. Yeah, my cousin brought a dog yesterday. His name is Corvo. Fluffy toy poodle, white toy poodle dog. And oh my gosh. I just could not help it and just pet the thing to death. I just had to pet and pet it and pet it and pet it and pet it. Because it's just like so like a cuddly like dog. It was just great. It's crazy. Once you pet a dog like that, it calms you down. It soothes you. It really does. Who has a toy poodle dog, actually? Not like a toy poodle, but like that's the breed. It's a breed of dog. It's a poodle. It's a toy poodle because it's small and it's kind of fluffy, has that curly white hair. It's just... Move the cursor. Oh my gosh. Kitty, kitty. Look at this, a lot of wind. Meow, meow. See if that gets you cat's attention. There's a high wind watch. Did they actually go? They actually did. Did they? Did they? Yes, they did. They did. Oh my goodness. They actually did it. Wow, they did it a lot sooner than I thought they would. High wind watch in effect. Oh, wow. There you go, folks. That gives you a threatening message. That's what we're... Look at Tuesday evening. That's what I said. Tuesday evening through early Wednesday morning. What? South winds 20 to 30 with gusts up to 60 miles an hour possible. Okay, impacts. Damaging winds will blow down trees, snap power lines, and result in property damage. Oh, okay. Widespread power outages are possible. Travel could be extremely difficult and hazardous, especially for high-profile vehicles. The combination of wind and moist soils will increase the risk for downed trees and power lines. So I'm in the Sacramento weather office. Wouldn't surprise if they pull a wind advisory for our area. Literally, dude, oh my gosh, most of the state, I don't know if you guys realize this, but most of the state is under a weather watch or an advisory, believe it or not. I mean, all the way from San Diego, all the way up towards Crescent City. I mean, good grief. What a storm. What a storm it's going to be Tuesday night. Tuesday night's a straight up beast. Tuesday night and Wednesday night are going to be 60, 67 nights. No, I'm just kidding. It's not going to be 67. My family could not help stop saying 67, 67. I'm like, what is up with the 67 crap, you know? I'm in Fallon. Yeah, I get a smog smell tomorrow. Wait, what? I'm in Fallon? You're in Fallon? So you're in Nevada, right? Oh, yeah, you're in a wind advisory. Okay, yeah. See what it's like in Fallon. Oh, you are going to get some rain. That's good. Just not a whole lot of it. Golly, 62 degrees on Tuesday for Fallon. Wow, that is really warm. That is warm. For that elevation, that you guys are 4,000 feet and it's going to be 62 degrees. That is quite warm. Dang, man. There's an Austin, by the way. Austin, Nevada. Yeah, you're not seeing as eventful in terms of warnings in Nevada, but boy, California. Santa's cooked. Yeah, for California. Not for you all. Well, for the Midwest, he's going to think, am I even in the Midwest? Weekend sucked, though. Yeah, it's been really warm there. That's what it's been like, because that ridge. Is it windy in your area right now? Kid Z Joe, is it windy in your area? Sure looks windy over there on satellite. Definitely some mountain wave activity going on. It is windy there? Dang. I'm not surprised. No calm at night. Let's actually see the current conditions in the mountains on the National Weather Service too. So Fallon. Ooh, yeah. Okay, yeah, there's 25-mile-an-hour wind gusts. So it is windy there in Fallon. Okay, what is wrong with this weather station? Oh my goodness. 230-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Okay, Minden Douglas. California Hydro is the provider. Might want to go check on that station to see if it's all right. Not 230 miles an hour. That is just scary. That is just, wow. No way that's happening. I can tell you, I can trust the 54-mile-an-hour wind gust here in Duncan in the Cedar Foothills. 34 sustained, gusting up to 54, which, by the way, don't like giving my location out. I'm really not here, but click on this station, and this is my weather station right here. Yes, you don't believe me? It goes to the National Weather Service. My weather station reports to the National Weather Service. And this is what we have right now. 7-mile-an-hour winds gusting to 11 miles an hour. And my weather station is mounted 50 feet above ground. My anemometer, the wind system, like the thing that twirls, 50 feet off the surface. More than certified for the National Weather Service. Can you go by Greenville, please? Yes. Greenville, which Greenville? Greenville, Texas, Greenville, Massachusetts. Please be more specific. Thank you. And that is from Colloy SF. I love the observations that I can see here. There is a Greenville, California. Okay. It's not on here then. So we will put it on there. Oh, in Plumas County. Are you local? Are you local? Please say you're local. Please. Oh, wait, no, that's not. Okay. Plumas County. There we go. Oh, you're way up there. Okay. Yeah, you're 49 degrees right now. There's no wind. Not much wind in your area. Whoa, there's on the ridge top, so Dyer Mountain, winds gusting to 51 miles an hour. Yeah, right here, 51 miles an hour. So maybe some gusty winds mixing down to the surface a little bit, but overall, not bad. This is nothing compared to with what we'll see Tuesday night, though. Oh, I can't wait for Tuesday night. Oh, you're not in the mountains. Okay. Oh, your dad is up there in Plumas County. Okay, nice. My friend moved to San Diego. He left as soon as possible. How about Loyalton, California? Born there. Okay, so Loyalton. Oh, that's down, and that's next door. Yeah, you're getting gusts up to about 25-ish miles an hour right now. Some of those winds are coming down to the surface. You're very welcome. I love looking at this. This is my Weather Underground. I don't check Weather Underground for winds anymore just because half of those weather stations are not certified anymore. Well, I'm not saying they're not certified for the National Weather Service, but the National Weather Service likes weather stations mounted at least 32 feet, 33 feet. No, wait, it's like 34 feet above the surface. So if you mount your weather station on top of a roof, it should be at least 10 feet above roof, the tip of your roof, no trees around to get a good accurate wind measurement. So I wish I can show you a picture of what my station looks like, but I'll tell you what, it is pretty high up. It is very high up, like 50 feet, 50 stinking feet above ground level. And you can find it here by clicking on the station, 3-day weather history, and you can find out like what my winds have been. And this updates every 5 minutes. So you can see what our winds were like. Like this morning, they were gusting up to like 20 miles an hour. They were pretty strong this morning. Yeah, 15 even, gusting up to 21 earlier. So pretty cool, isn't it? So you can find that there. Yeah, 50 feet high, the station is mounted up to. I got a Tempest weather station, by the way. I can even show you guys that really quickly. So let's go over here. That's going to be my my next one that I'm going to put very high up because it's a or ultrasonic wind detection system. So it just uses a transductor to measure how strong the winds are. And it does really good. I really like it. And so that station is mounted about 25 feet above the surface. So that's up there. It's not National Weather Service certified, but it's up there. And it does pretty good. It really does. And it's right next to my Davis weather station out there. So I've got a fleet of weather stations in the back. So much rain in Shasta County today. Yeah, so that is accurate. Okay, so that rain amount that we saw earlier in Shasta up here is accurate. Let's go there really quickly and look at the observed precipitation in the last 48 hours. Actually, the last 3 days. Yep, there we go. Yeah, 8 inches, 8.44 inches. So that is accurate. That really is. So, man, that's a lot of water. Hey, you know what? We do need it. We need as much water as we can to fill up these reservoirs. We need the snowpack. We definitely need that too. Can you link the websites with the weather stations? Sure. So I'm going to link you all my weather station. Okay. So you don't have to kind of just go browsing for it. Please put it on your favorites bar. Please do that. All right. So this is it right here. So this is the station. The link that I just sent you all. Actually, I'm going to know what I'm going to do. I'm going to delete that one and I'm going to just put a fleet of links in the chat here. And then I'm just going to pin it to the chat so you all don't lose that. So let's go to the Tempest. If YouTube will actually, oh my gosh. Okay, I cannot. Has to be 2 separate links. So just copy and paste those links and put them in your favorites bar. Okay, so make sure you, when you open a new tab, just put that in and then click on there's like a star, like a favorites thing. Actually, yeah, once you go to a website, there will be this star up here that you'll find. And just click that and then it's your favorite. And so you can just navigate it very quickly. Because typing it in is time consuming and we don't like that. So Yeah. Let me know if you guys are able to view my weather station, though, so that way I know that the link actually worked. Thank you. Solid steel and concrete building will only stand in 230-mile-an-hour winds. Yeah, so I think that station right there probably broken. It's probably misreporting, over-exaggerating it. It's not 230-mile-an-hour winds at all there. But yeah, all I will say is if you do want your anemometer to be mounted 50 feet high, you will need a lot of cabling, okay? Industrial grade cabling to pry down the pole to make sure it doesn't wiggle back and forth. Secondly, you're going to need a big cement pad, at least a foot deep. So you can look up online on how to do that. But it is a process. You just don't, I'm just going to put the pole in and it's going to be 40 feet high, no cables. No, you're risking to break your station in a windstorm. And actually, 10 people helped me put that station in. It was a big project. It was a big summer project that was like 2 weeks long. And I'll tell you, it paid off. It really did. The only thing I have a bad time with is bird poop on it. Yeah, there's some bird poop on my on my anemometer, but it's spinning pretty well, so that's what matters most. Oh, it's accurate, Durham Belcher. Oh, my weather station, my thing is, look at literally most of the stations around me on the National Weather Service have winds of 10 to 11 mile an hour wind gusts. I've got about that. In fact, Stockton Airport, they're the top in commercial graded weather stations. They have a 6 mile an hour average wind right now. So this updates every 5 minutes and it gives us an average wind. That's 6 miles an hour and mine is 8 miles an hour. So mine is up there. It actually passed a lot of quality control checking, and it's even on the Meso West website even. So Meso West website, you can go to that. Here it is. Oh, wait, no, that's not it. Oops. Where's our map? Oh, here's our map. So if we go to here, all networks should be here. It takes a little bit to pop up, but this is my weather station is on here as well. Where is the wind? There we go. This should be it. So if you go to the Meso West website, this is what meteorologists actually use. It's a very high-end website. It's like the National Weather Service, but on steroids. You can view all weather stations. I am past the little baby stuff, like on Weather Underground. Not Weather Underground's really good, but like that, you could literally put any weather station on that website. Literally. It's easy to upload data on there, but what's not easy to upload data to the National Weather Service, because you have to go through a process to get it up there. And if you click on here, this is my weather station as well. And let's see, where do we go? Oh, so here we go. And this is where you can find the data as well on the Meso website. And this has passed the quality control testing. When you see an okay like this, that's the best you can get. And if you actually kind of zoom in on this, data has passed all quality control checks. So just to prove to you all how accurate my station is, every 5 minutes, the data is sent to the National Weather Service. Their algorithms, their computers look over it and be like, oh, this is very accurate against weather models and against all other things. We're going to publish it onto public servers. And so this is what you're seeing. I mean, it is pretty darn accurate. It really is. And that's mesowest.com. Good thing it's going to rain. Yeah, I hope it rains for us. We haven't gotten anything yet. Nope, still not raining. Oh, man, this is disappointing. It is supposed to rain. Literally, it's supposed to rain right now. The models showed 9 o'clock tonight, even 8 o'clock it's supposed to rain, and it's not raining yet. Man, what a bummer. This is really upsetting. This orographic lift, man, I'm telling you, it rains up here but can't get down here. It just can't. It looks like it's on its way down, though, so we will see how far south this actually gets. But man, what a disappointment. No rain at all down here. Yeah, no rain in my area, at least. Up there in Butte County, Tehama County, it's pouring. It's been raining there all day. And you can literally see the orographic here. I mean, there's moisture there. It's just not being squeezed out really well. But I think that will change. That's going to change soon. I really think that is. I'm still optimistic about it. Oh, this orographic. I'm glad this is the only storm that has the best orographic flow, because this stuff sucks. Because, I mean, you could literally be in Sacramento where it hasn't rained very much, and you can be in the foothills. It hasn't stopped raining there since it started yesterday. Yeah, it always skips the valley. That's the stupid thing about orographic lift. It really sucks. I mean, look there's blue skies over here in Winnemucca, in Fallon. Yeah, it's not so clear over here in the mountains. It's stormy. But yeah, some of you guys want me to go live Tuesday night. That is the plan. And hopefully it sticks, but it will depend on latest model trends and stuff. If I don't go live, it's probably one of the reasons why it's like, oh, looks like models are not as optimistic. Let me see what my storm app shows, though, how much rainfall we'll get tonight. Last time I checked, we were going to get 1.3 inches of rainfall. Let's see if that dropped. Guess how much rainfall we're going to see tonight, you all? Put your answers in the chat. Guess how much rainfall we are going to see tonight. See who's right. In my area, in my location where I live, I'll say in Stockton, because that's where I live closest to. I don't want to give out my exact location for many security reasons, but I'll say I'm about 10 miles northeast of Stockton. Guess how much rainfall I will get 10 miles northeast of Stockton? Someone said 0.12 inches. Let's see if you are right. 0.12, I think you're guessing. That might come true at this rate. We'll see. But that's not the actual... Well, we'll see. You may be right. You may be wrong. We'll see. Put those answers in. Okay. Eastern Sierra Skies says 1.03. Dang, that's pretty bullish, actually. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already, folks. We are under a flood watch. That's a guarantee right now. I don't think there's any more people putting in their answers. Oh, 0.03. Okay, inches. The final answer on the storm map, and again, this is based on what the storm map actually says. I don't believe it as far as it looks right now. 0.95 inches. Yeah. I don't believe it. I don't think we're going to get that much. Because it assumes that it's going to rain, that all of that's going to propagate our direction, but it's not. It says rain expected at 9:30 p.m. 9:30 p.m. in 15 minutes it's going to rain. Really? It's going to rain in 15 minutes. I highly doubt that. Oh, man. That's why I hate orographic storms like this. The atmospheric rivers suck. I hate them because it's like, it looks like it's going to come towards us, but then it's just a standing wave. What's up, Dragon Survivor? How are you doing? You're saying 3.5 inches? Yeah, that's very aggressive. That's very aggressive for an overnight rain total. Wow, I was close. Yeah, you were very close. I'm too nervous to look at the latest HRRR model, though, because it just keeps going north, and I'm afraid we're not going to get anything. But we will get rain on Tuesday night. That is a guarantee. If we don't get rain tonight, we will get it Tuesday night. Five days late with the rainfall arrival with that storm. Literally. I am saying this busted half of the time just because it hasn't rained in my area and models kept on showing rain by this time. And it hasn't rained yet. So I would say any areas south of Elk Grove, busted. It's just a bust. Not saying it, we're done. We're not out of the woods. We still got, like, we could get rain tonight. But, I mean, what a waste of time it has been for me to move stuff. I mean, literally, when I got the flood watch on my phone, I'm like, oh, shoot, we're going to get flooding. I literally went down into the basement. Okay, we have a basement downstairs, moved all of the stuff from the western side of the basement because that western side floods if it rains too much, moved it all to the eastern side, and it took me an hour and a half to get things sorted out and move all the stuff over there, only to find out we have not had rain yet. And we're even in the flood discussion and a flood watch, and yet we have not gotten anything. That's why I'm saying this is a bust, especially south of Elk Grove right now. If we can get rain tonight and a lot of it, then that would make me happy. I don't want it to flood, though, but that was a lot of work just to move a lot of furniture from one side of the basement to the other side. What's up, James? How are you doing? So we'll see. Boy, it is raining really hard to my northeast, so it is dumping in Pollock Pines. It is raining really good up here in... Yeah, it's raining pretty good up in here in Marysville. But see, this is the thing. I mean, if we play this through the last 75 frames, you'll see what I mean by orographic effects. See, it just forms and forms and forms. It just it just stays. It's just like a standing wave. It just forms. Right up here in the foothills. It's where it's raining pretty good. And but I think we will eventually get some rain in here, is the hope. This line of rain is moving through. We'll see how that propagates. Maybe we'll get a little surprise. Maybe it'll just dump here very soon. Yeah, it says it's supposed to rain overnight in Tracy. Yeah, I don't believe that. I think areas south of Manteca don't see much. It says 0.3 of an inch. See Manteca. Yeah, Manteca has 0.3 inches. Modesto, nothing tonight. No rain in Modesto tonight. Turlock, nothing there. It's going to be dry. But boy, you go into Jackson. Let's see how much rain. Jackson could see. Yeah, I love how Jackson is only going to get a 0.5 inch of rainfall. It does not realize orographic effects. It doesn't. Pollock Pines, let's see. 2 inches of rain in Pollock Pines expected. So it realizes orographic is a thing up there. This is our storm. I'm hoping this will all fill in and we get something. Nothing's even wet outside. Yolande, how are you doing? Yolande Ginger, how's it going? Welcome. Now we're tracking the storm here for a little bit. What about Lodi? Yeah, Lodi is going to get similar rain amounts. It's just right in this area. I mean, it's funny because it rains here, it just skips and just kind of does that. So we're like in this rain hole. It's just not raining. And even down here, it's of course not raining. I'm interested in this little thin band, though, over Schlotthauer near Rancho Marietta. That's a good rain band coming down there. If I lived in the Midwest, we wouldn't be dealing with orographic effects of rainfall. It's orographic. It's OROGRH. See, I have to write it down to spell it. But it's orographic. It's not an A, it's an O. Okay, this is what it is. That's what it is. I spelled it right, to be exact. Your radar says very light rain in Sacramento. Yeah, it's raining just a little bit. This is more likely, well, this is light rain, maybe some drizzle coming down. This stuff up here, though, is pretty good. This is coming down pretty steady right now. In Knights Landing, Pleasant Grove, Woodland, coming down pretty good. But this up here in Pollock Pines, I wouldn't even be surprised if there's actually thunderstorms in some of these heavier rain cells. More than likely not, since it's more likely lenticular. It's a stratiform rainfall, so it's more than likely not having any thunder or lightning, but boy, that is coming down good. Flash flood warning in Redding with confirmed flash flooding. Oh, spaghetti-o. Yep, there is a flash flood warning in Redding. Is it even raining up there? Oh, it's still raining up there. So there is a flash flood warning. Let's see what it says here. Hazard heavy rainfall producing life-threatening flash flooding. Law enforcement reported life-threatening flash flooding of creeks. Here's a big one. Creeks and streams. Can't say it enough. Just because it doesn't rain in Sacramento very hard or in Stockton or Elk Grove doesn't mean that, oh, my river is not going to flood or my small creek is not going to flood. Because that small creek comes from somewhere. If it starts up there at 500 feet where the foothills are, that can come up a little bit or even a lot, even so it's not raining particularly hard at your exact location. So yes, creeks and streams, poor drainage in urban areas, highway streets and underpasses are being flooded right here. Yeah, that's a flood warning in effect. And it's not even raining that hard up there. Well, at least on this radar from near Chico, it's showing not a whole lot of heavy rainfall. But you just never know with the orographic effects. Let's see what Santa Cruz looks like. Yeah, see, here is some orographic right here. Little bit of light rainfall coming down around the radar. This is Mount Umunum, where the radar is. And then you got the rest of the Santa Cruz Mountains. So, yeah, you might be surprised that, oh, it looks like some showers are going to come towards me. No, this is orographically driven. And here is another good slosh of green. Let's see which way this is going. It's probably going towards Sacramento. Yep, it's going right towards Sacramento. It's going to miss us. Unless his whole band shifts further south. Looks like it is raining above me, though, but it's not hitting the ground on this radar site. Oh, it actually is. Ooh, got some rain very close to me. Little bit of sprinkles. Maybe we're getting something. Oh, now it's really starting to come down in Sacramento. So this is really starting to fill in. Actually, let's go to here, 14 frames. Oh, yeah, this is forming. This is really filling in very quickly. Yeah, see, things could change in a blue moon like that. So it's raining pretty good right now in Rio Linda. Lincoln, it's coming down good. See if that fills in. But if I see any filling in happening, it's going to be right around here. I think this is where we're going to start seeing a lot of it fill in eventually. If you are in Discovery Bay, Tracy, you're probably not going to see a whole lot tonight. Rio Vista, Thornton, you're kind of Rio Vista. You're going to get a little bit of accumulation. Thornton, though, you're right on the demeanor of getting either a little bit or a lot. Galt, Elk Grove, Lodi, maybe just east of Stockton, you have a pretty good shot, and east of that. I think once orographic really gets going and better moisture advection gets going, I think this whole area is going to light up. I think we're going to start seeing rain really pick up. And at times, it could get pretty heavy. Like up in here, Standing Hill. Yeah, that's a little city there. Coming down pretty good here. Got some orange colors on radar, indicating some pretty good rainfall rates there. Probably about a half an inch of rain an hour there. And then in Sacramento, probably about 0.2 of an inch of rain an hour there. But I'll tell you, let's look at the storm totals on our Doppler radar, based solely on Doppler radar. Yeah, see this? Yeah, this gives you a good idea what orographic does. Yeah, Lincoln, believe it or not, Lincoln, based on radar, you only saw a half an inch of rain, which seems really, really accurate. Go to Auburn. Auburn, an inch. You don't have to go very far up the hill towards Colfax. It's 2.5 inches, even 3 inches of rainfall. And yeah, look at this. 3/4 of an inch. You go east, you got 4 to 5 inches, 6 inches, some areas, even 7 inches of rainfall. It's a lot of water. I'm telling you, that's a lot of accumulation. And let's look at the hourly total. It's going to load on us. Come on. Is it not working? Interesting. It's not working. Nope. That's weird. It is not working on us. Give you an idea, though, probably hourly rainfall amounts near half an inch here in Brush Creek to the south, where it's just really, really coming down. We will see, though, if this fills in. We're starting to see more reflectivity pop up, though. Little breezy here. Here comes the rain, finally. In Reading, there is flooding downtown with water rescues. Oh, crap. All right, this is pretty serious. I don't know if that's an official report. If you can send me the link to that report, that would be great. Actually, you know what? Let me bring up another radar site that will fix that. GR2 analysis, because that will give me storm reports. I guess my home base is in Atlanta, Georgia, so let's go east or go west. Okay, here we go. See if there is... Should get storm flood reports on here. Let's see. No, there is no flood report. Interesting. You would think there would be a flood report, but there isn't flood reports. How disappointing is that? Actually, you know what? Maybe on WeatherWise. Oh no, I have no wait. Maybe WeatherWise. See. Someone's getting a storm report and I'm not able to salvage that. So I don't know why I'm not able to find one. There are flood warnings though up there. Oh, even flood advisories. Yeah, so there is definitely a lot of flooding going on up here to the north. So yeah, it hasn't done so much in Sacramento, but doesn't mean it's not doing so much in the foothills. Got a flood fatality, someone is saying. Reading getting killed, 1 fatality, apparently. I'll need confirmation on that. But we are getting some rain. It's actually raining outside here. Finally. We're getting a little bit of moisture. We got some drops. Just a few. It's starting to spit. Yes, the storm has arrived. A lot later than I wanted it to. About 24 hours late. But that's fine. That's better late than never. Yeah, so this is filling in. And look at how this has been stationary. Look at this. Isn't this something, folks? Literally. Stationary. It's not moving. That is orographic lift in progress. You can just see it. It's just not moving. You can even see it here. Another little gravity wave showing up. Here's another one showing up right here. Pretty stinking cool. But also very tricky because the thing about the storm apps, the apps that you all use, let me come in here and talk, is they assume things will move that way. Well, to the camera, things will move this way. They'll propagate like that, right? They'll move like that. But this is not moving. So the app, your app may show downstream that you may get now 3/4 of an inch of rain because it's like, oh, it's going to hit your area. But this is stationary. This is not moving. And I am right in here somewhere. I'm not going to give my exact location, but I am on the southern tip of that. Just a few drops on the window. Just a few little precious drops. Not coming down very much at all. But hey, it's something. We've got rain. Poor Stockton and Tracy, you don't believe in it yet. Saw that too in San Francisco Chronicle report. I'm glad we are getting the rain because the ridge was a big problem. Do you guys ever hear about how bad our snowpack is in the Sierra? It is really, really bad. In fact, let me see if We can get the snowfall report. Because I'll tell you right now, before this all started, we were snowfall report. Oh, wait, hold on. Is this? Yep, this is what we want. If the website will work. Perfect. Yes, it works. So, yeah, this is bad. This is really bad. No, nothing. Nothing at all. Zeros. There are zeros on this chart. That's as bad as you can get with the snowfall in the Sierra. The Southern Sierra, really bad. Just not good. Not good at all. Yeah, talk about a snow drought. This is a exceptional snow drought. Rain moderate in Arden Arcade. That's where you're at, Raptor. Yes, you're up there in the northern end of the valley, right? So you've probably been saying, can this rain freaking stop already? And here I'm down here saying, can the rain freaking start already? It hasn't. It started just about 5 minutes ago, but until then, it was like, were we ever going to get rainfall? And oh, we're right there. We're right there. See, is it gonna, let's see, is it gonna go further south? Is it gonna go further south? Are we gonna be more in it? Yes! Yes, we're more in it. Yes, we're more in it. I love you, Doppler radar. So it seems like this whole area is really filling in, and I did predict that. I actually said about pretty much I-5 eastward, you're starting to fill in on average. I know there's a little bit of a break in here, but that's slowly beginning to fill in. So pretty much on average, all in here now starting to fill in. We're even starting to see some spits coming out over Peters and east of Stockton. So that's really, this is going to be the focus right in here, I think. Like right down in here is where I think the majority of our rain's going to fall. Maybe down here, Manteca and Modesto. But Tracy, you're going to be lucky to get at least a few hundredths of an inch tonight. You'll get something, but I don't think it's going to be like a half an inch or 3/4 of an inch. It's going to be just like a spit. Like you're going to get spitted on a little bit, and that's about it. Well, when it comes, be ready. Yeah, well, once it comes, be ready for flooding, because once it starts, it doesn't stop. And you're in Arcadia, I think, right? Or no, wait. You are... Wait. Till the trough tilts as a low deepens along the coast Tuesday night. Ah, yeah, Raptor. Raptor, did you see the models? I wanted to show you this. You did not see... I hope you didn't see the models yet, because if you did, you're going to be pooping. No, I'm just kidding. It's going to be bad. I don't think it's going to be as strong as February 4th of 2024. I don't think it's going to be that strong, but boy, it's going to get gusts probably up to about 50, maybe to 60-ish miles an hour. Oh, yeah, you need to look at the models on Weatherbell if you do have Weatherbell subscription. Because, yeah, there's a lot of orange. There's a lot of orange on the map. Yeah, look at this. Isn't that pretty, you all? It's not fall. I wish it was fall. No, I'm just kidding. But there's a lot of orange and red here. Let's look at the high-res models one last time here, and you can see for... Yeah, there's even orange on the NAM. So, yeah. And Raptor, you're right up in here near just north of Chico. So, yeah, you're going to get 62-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Oh, yeah, that steam jet was beautiful. Oh, yeah. Oh, that thing was... that was the storm. That was my dream storm right there. Got the beautiful low-level jet screaming, which, by the way, this is going to have a steam jet with it. If we look at the wind here on the RFS model, which does a better job at showing the steam jet moving through, blow that up. Actually, no, this doesn't show it very well. The GFS actually... Oh, no, it's the next storm? Oh, no, wait. Okay, no, it's not. Okay, I thought it was on one model run. I think it was on the Euro. Let's go to the 0Z Euro from last night. Right there. This was beautiful. That right there, my folks, that's a steam jet back coming on the backside of that low. And it really helps to augment a secondary semi-low along it and spin it up along the coast like that. And you can see what that does on this model. Yeah, right there, man, that would be... I would love to be right in that and just feel the power of that steam jet. See what the latest model is showing, though, on the Euro. Oh, my gosh. See, this is what I'm talking about, man. If that low can move, that can move this way a little bit more. Literally, if this low, all of its energy can be like right here along the coast, man, that thing would just pour right over the valley. That would be that's a 64 knot steam jet. Actually, no, you know what? No, that is an 82 knot steam jet moving up. Even on 2 steam jets actually with this. So you got the backside, you got the front quadrant moving over into Fort Bragg. Man, if I didn't have to work at Safeway, I would probably drive out there to witness that. That would be insane. I still think the Euro has a little bit of work to do. It is trending further west. Yeah, this model doesn't show much wind at all for us. I think the Euro might be a little... I don't know what the Euro is on right now, though. That is a deep low. 974 millibar low right up there, up the coast. Holy crap-a-moly. See what the second system looks like. Yeah, that second system looks definitely stronger. So looks like the second system is still the daddy of them all. But I'm a little disappointed to find out that that first little wave is going to be weaker. Darn it. And that was my present of Christmas, and it's not going to roll over us. I think it's still going to. I think the European model is the European model. It's acting like the European model, like what the European model wants to act like. Let's see, Eastern skies, I'll just say. Thank you for becoming a member of the channel. Christmas storm, yeah. I think the Christmas storm is going to be the one that takes a cake. This storm is very, very uncertain exact location-wise how close this is going to get. But my gosh, if this little patch of wind right here can literally move about 130 miles eastward, I'm filming this. I'm going to film every bit of it. Because the GFS has it much further east, but not as defined. See the difference on the model? It's right here on the GFS. On the Euro, it's further west. What does a Canadian model show? Let's see. Yeah, see, the Canadian is more eastward, like the GFS is. And it has kept that trend for a while now. So I think the Euro's a little bit of an outlier. I really think so. See what the icon is showing. Yeah, see, the icon has us at 30-mile-an-hour winds as that jet moves over. So I think the European model needs a little more work done at shifting it back further west, or east, I meant. Definitely semi-strong for sure on Tuesday night in a wind. I don't think that's going to be the worst wind event. I think it's going to come with the second storm system. Oh, gosh, yeah. Second storm system will take the cake. Definitely with the strongest winds. And probably the biggest rainfall totals. Oh, yeah. We're getting 3 inches of rain. Oh, yeah. Big time. Yeah, it'll be a storm. It'll be a storm to not forget, probably. That would take a miracle and a shift east, or deepening it to 975. See, the Euro does have it deepening to 974 over Crescent City, California. Which model is more reliable, the Euro? It's hard to say because our CAMS guidance. So let's do this. Let's look at the Euro. The Euro still wants me to have 2 inches of rain by tomorrow morning, which doesn't make logical sense. Well, that is a possibility, but it better start raining. It stopped raining, though. It's not raining anymore. So it stopped again. So that's not what I want to hear about, but okay. So there is the Euro. Here is the Canadian. No, not the Canadian. The 12Z, or the kilometer, the 12-kilometer model. Here is the RFS model. So follow me on that. Here is... Yeah, that's the 3-kilometer NAM. This is the GFS. There's the Canadian. Which one do you think is more reliable? That's the problem, is I think the Euro is a little bit further to the west. It's a little too west, I think. I don't think it's going to be one this dynamic, but also at the same time, it's not going to be that far west. I think it's going to be stretched out a little bit more. It's going to be kind of semi-hybrid, where it's kind of like a cold frontal future with enhanced vorticity along it, but I don't think it's going to be like a low like this. I really don't think the Euro is being a little bit too festery with it, I think. It is going to be strong nonetheless. It's going to definitely... that's why there's high wind watches out for the Bay Area. $974 is very strong, stronger than February 4th. Wait, what was the February 4th storm? I should remember this. I really should. It was down into the 980s, I think, right? So if we get a 974 millibar storm, that is very, very big. That's a big deal, but it's further offshore. That's the thing. I mean, if we get a 974, if this thing, again, can like literally be over here, oh, we're toast. We are toast. We are literally toast. Because that is a 974 millibar low moving into Crescent City. Man, if I had the time and the money and the willpower, I would literally drive up to Crescent City. I literally would. But I think confidence is a little bit too low for that. I think the GFS, though, let's see what the GFS shows with central pressure on that. So I think 992 is about realistic. I think 992 is about 990 is, I think, where we're going with this system. I don't think it's going to be 970. There's no model showing a 974 except the Euro. That's why I think the Euro's being a little bullish. Yeah, see, even our NAM 12 kilometers not showing it. But I'm not so worried. No, I'm not so much focused on the central pressure. I'm more focused on the gradient. So the Euro has a weaker gradient overall. So the gradient is not as tight on the Euro as it is on the NAM. If we go back and look at the NAM, the gradient's a little tighter. Oh, now it's raining. I think it's raining good again. Yep, we got some drops. Oh, yeah, it's raining again. How long will that last? We'll see. Might only last a few minutes. That is one stubborn, just line sitting out there, though. Man, look at just how that's standing there, though. That line is just standing. It's just not moving, though. It really isn't moving. It's just sitting right there. It's just stationary. Luckily, it's not like pink over this, and that would be big time flooding. Widespread trees and power outages if that... Oh, yeah, for sure, Raptor. Oh, yeah. Oh, and Raptor, if it did shift further east like that, it would be more than just February 4th. Okay? It'd be more than February 4th. February 4th would be like a little baby crying wolf. Because it would literally be far stronger than February 4th. I would say our maximum wind gusts here in my location would probably max out at like 75 to 80 miles an hour on my station. My area at Roseville getting rain currently. Yeah, Michael Guerrero, you're getting heavy rainfall. How about that? You're getting rainfall. You've been getting rainfall for a while too. And it's picking up. That orographic lift is really teething on you pretty hard. It looks like it's about to end, though, in Gridley. One more nice, good rain band overhead is going to shift out of that area. But boy, oh boy, is it coming down here in the Rio Linda, Roseville area. It's coming down good. Yeah, that storm on February 4th, that thing was beautiful. Actually, I want to look back at that. Zoom Earth. You could actually look back at these storms. Do we all remember this? That was our February 4th storm right there. That's how it all began. Oh, yeah, it began right here. This was the little area of spin. Is all from this little guy. All from that little guy. And that setup was just perfect. It was amazing setup for that too. And that right there is a steam jet. Actually, yeah, like right in here. That is a very strong steam jet. Actually, no, wait. Yeah, right in here is the steam jet. You can see the cloud motions. You can literally make out the wind direction. That is a fantastic steam jet on the backside from the northwest. That is like 50 to 60, that's like 60 mile an hour winds right there. And that gets more pronounced as this thing matured on February 4th of 2024. And there is California. There it was. And there is the blue skies that we had. That was a beautiful storm. I miss that. I really do. That was a great storm to be in. And that center was, where was it center at? Looked like it was like somewhere over here, huh? So it did take this similar track up the coast. Yeah, it did actually. So it did take a similar track. So in theory, let's just put it this way. If the Euro can shift this like over here just a little bit more, then we're talking. We're talking another February 4th setup. But I don't think that's going to happen. I really don't think so. There's no agreement. At least, well, there's agreement that there will be strong winds, high wind watch criteria in the Bay Area, but an 80-mile-an-hour windstorm, I don't think that's going to happen. Oh, that thing was beautiful. That thing was gracious. And you know what I call them? You guys might laugh at me. It's a hurricane. Because we literally have palm trees outside, and when the wind is strong, it looks like, man, it's a hurricane outside. We're going to get a hurricane, everybody. Raptor, please evacuate if you can. We're going to get a hurricane Tuesday night and then another hurricane Wednesday night. I'm just kidding. I know I shouldn't be messing around like that, but it really has that feel. Heavy rain, 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Yeah. David, you remember the dangerous January 8th line of severe thunderstorms? I remember that. Yeah, I was sleeping downstairs and I heard this. I heard that. Whoa, that was thunder. And it was really windy. And I woke up and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's a lot of lightning to my east. And there was like a tornado warning over me or near me. Is thunder rare in California? Not really. In the summertime, the Sierras get it with the monsoon. We had a lot of it this last summer, especially in September. And we had a very busy September with a round of lightning and thunder. So no, it's not rare in California. Was there a lot of hail and bands? No, there's no hail with this storm. No, and we don't get large hail at all like you all in the Midwest do. It's mainly a Midwestern thing. I'm glad we don't get hail that big. That would not be fun to drive in. I would not want to ruin my car that I drive. Maybe you guys wouldn't mind destroying your car with hail, but for sure, heck, with my car, I wouldn't. What's up, Sunflower? How are you doing? Welcome. Yeah, we're tracking the storm here a little bit. Looks like we're trying to get something going, though. I think we're filling things in a little bit more. It doesn't look as yucky as it did earlier. I definitely not really good coverage. Well, it's coming down good here in San Rafael. See if that line can get further south, though. I mean, we are right there. We're literally getting a few spits outside, but it's not coming down hard at all. I'm doing fine. How are you? I'm doing really good, except models are trash with this storm. Literally, just even the Euro still shows us getting like 2 inches of rainfall by tomorrow morning. Like, how are we going to get 2 inches of rain? I just don't get that. Yeah, literally, I'm like right in here, and it shows us getting like 2 inches of rain by tomorrow early afternoon. I don't think that's going to happen. The Euro has been showing that, though. It's been very consistent at showing that for a while now. But it overdoes tomorrow's rain, but it underdoes the rest of the storms. We'll see. This is filling in quite quickly. So if this can fill in, and maybe my prediction is a little off, then things could be overly moist and get some rain filling in here. We're talking about filling in. Things are moving from southwest to northeast, but really that doesn't matter. Motion doesn't matter with this storm. The only way is if convection develops. Okay. I'm from the LA area. Torrance. Rondo Beach. So I'm looking forward to some rain. Oh my goodness. Yes, I'm sure you guys are. It has been so warm down there. I cannot believe how warm it's been down in Southern California. And the Central Valley fog that we have had, I don't even believe that it was 80 degrees or mid 80s down there. You might need to tell me, was it really that warm down there like last week? Because where I live, we did not break out of the 40s very easily. I mean, our average daytime temperature or moving temperature was 39.8 degrees. So is 30s longer than it was in the 40s. It was cold and foggy and moist. It was incredible. It's like we had a winter this year, but you go up at 2,000 feet, it was not winter-like. It was summer. That's why I'm glad we had the fog so I could actually celebrate that, hey, we actually had a winter this year. Because there have been winters where we are not so much it's warmer. It was 84 the other day. Wow, that is crazy. It was a bit ago. It was very nice. Yep, warm and gorgeous down here. That's crazy. You all are like, oh, it's warm and gorgeous, but here I'm loving the cold weather. It's like, man, I want to live in the valley so much. And actually, I can show you our temperature history really quick. So if we look at our temperature history in the monthly mark, yeah, you want to see how impactful fog is? You can count how many fog days we've had. This is my weather station. It doesn't get, I would say it was 40 on the 4th. It barely got into out of the 40s. But only one day in the first half of December did we get to 60.6 degrees. Literally. And then it started cooling off and then the fog formed. Like, really? Look at that. What's up? IA Corral, how are you doing? And now we're warming up. We hit 62 today. Not as warm as it was the other day where it was 66.2. Don't want to get that again. But wow, what a big fluctuation in temperatures. And look at all the moisture we've gotten, all from fog too. So our monthly rainfall so far was 0.08 of an inch. 0.08 of an inch for the month. All from Thule fog. Literally all from Thule fog. Can you believe that? That's incredible. All from low clouds and mist, drizzle, fog, however you want to call it. That was our rainfall. Oh, it's 10:04. Oh my gosh, I didn't even realize how late it was. You guys are keeping me entertained. Radiation fog. Yes, it is a form of radiation fog. And I'll tell you, the temperature inversion was crazy. Imagining this, you all. You won't believe me when I say this. You're not going to believe me, and that's fine. Temperatures right on the top of the fog deck were in the mid-30s. Okay? In the mid-30s. You would be like, what? Mid-30s? That's crazy. But you go 500 feet up. 500 feet up, you all. 500 feet above the top of the fog deck. It was 75 degrees. Yeah, 75 degrees. 75 degrees. Once you got 500 feet above the fog deck. That inversion was so strong. 40-degree jump in temperature, actually. 40-degree jump in temperatures. That's just ridiculous. That is insane. So, yeah. Talk about a super stable atmosphere. Well, you just witnessed a very stable atmosphere. Oh, I don't think we do. No more rain. Yeah, it's not gonna. This is not gonna happen. It's. You think I'm lying? No, I'm not lying. Look it up on aircraft data. I'm being honest with you. That was rare. That was under the influence of a very strong subtropical ridge over California. Rarely do we get something like that. That was just, I mean, I think the 588 decameter height line contour built over our area briefly. That's an inversion. That is a strong inversion. Because once you get a ridge like that that builds in, the air mass is very warm aloft. It warms up, the air sinks, compresses, and warms up. Well, warm air wants to rise, right? It doesn't want to sink. Cold air wants to sink, but doesn't want to rise. So what you end up seeing is this cold air. What happens is when it cools down several nights in a row to the dew point, that fog just gets thicker, and more extensive. And it just, the cycle repeats. Long nights, short days, lesser sunlight because the sun angle is lower. You actually get the fog that builds over on itself repeatedly. Oh, I know. Oh, I know, Andy. But that's basically how it is. You know, cold air sinks, wants to not move around. It resists movement because it's dense, right? Dense, cold, foggy air is really dense versus the warmer, lighter air above. So, you know, that's why the fog did not move out. And in fact, if we look at this right here, you can see each and every day, this is that dense air that you witnessed. That's the dense air. Very, very dense. So that's that. You want to know what's very crazy? We have had only one sunny day out of the entire month of December as well. Actually, no, we had 2 sunny days. Well, that one sunny day was actually got cloudy in the afternoon, so it was like a day and a half worth of sunshine we've had so far this entire month. Yeah, talk about a cloudy month. Yeah, this month has been really cloudy. Yeah, when the Thule fog settles in and the background environment is quite conducive for it, once it forms, it doesn't want to go. It doesn't want to leave. But you're probably wondering, but then why does the fog not form in the Central Valley in the summertime, even if we do get like the monsoonal rains? Well, that's because the high sun angle. Imagining the sun being 75 degrees above the horizon at solar noon. That is almost directly above you. That heats the surface more significantly. You know, in fact, during the summer months, solar radiation that hits the surface is up to about 1100 watts per square meter, which is very significant versus only 300 or 2 to 300 watts per square meter during the wintertime, which is a lot lesser incoming solar radiation because the sun is only 27 degrees above the horizon during the winter season. It's harder to get fog in the valley during the summer. You need a good rain, something like this that dumps a lot of rain in the valley. Once things stagnate, the air doesn't mix around very much. It takes a couple of days for that air to really stagnate and get foggy. And once it settles in, it just doesn't want to go until the upper pattern changes. Oh, yeah, the Central Valley gets hotter than in Southern California at times. But with Thule fog, it is also colder than Southern California in the wintertime. And I'll tell you what, before I go here, the coast, okay, Half Moon Bay during this Thule fog event actually had temperatures warmer by 30 degrees than in the Central Valley. Half Moon Bay went into the mid 70s one day, whereas my area we were in the 40s. So you would think that, wow, going to the beaches are actually going to feel nice and cool. Nope, not this go around. It was actually really warm along the coast during that very rare upper level ridge like pattern that brought warmer temperatures aloft. But when you're under that fog, it's a whole different story. Oh, yeah, it's very dangerous for driving. Yeah, if you're caught in Thule fog, I will tell you, and I even told my friend this, Ethan, the other night, the fog here in brief spurts that we had, that Thule fog, it got so bad during the whole event, it wasn't that bad, but there were these few nights, it was so bad, I could not see across the street. I almost called in for work because I was like, I'm not going to work in this. I'm not leaving my house if it's that thick. Visibility was about 2 to 3 hundredths of a mile. Okay, 2 to 3 hundredths of a mile. Talk about thick. Yeah, that's very thick. So you all don't see fog that thick back in the Midwest. I'm sure it's not as bad as it is here. I have a friend. Oh, you have a friend named Ethan. Oh, nice. Ethan is a popular name. That looks like it's not filling in. Looks like it's further east than I thought it was going to be, this fill-in. Alrighty, I think that's going to sum it up for this live stream. Any questions, any last bits that you guys need to ask me, then I'm going to head off for the night. Think this was a long enough discussion. I think we went 3 hours, over 3 hours. Actually, we are on our third hour, I think. Yep. Yep, we are actually. So, love you guys so much. And I am excited to live stream on the storm if necessary. I won't have anything out tomorrow morning because this kind of took care of it for the night. Please watch this in the morning because don't expect a video from me in the morning. I want to kind of sleep in a little bit. But I will be live streaming potentially if needed tomorrow night just to do a small discussion like tonight on the storms, what we're looking at, what the latest in the watches, warnings, and stuff are. And then we're going full gear on Tuesday. Tuesday night, once I get home from work, we're going to go live at about 9 o'clock. and probably going to live stream all night. Gonna stay live all night on this storm if necessary, if it's needed. That's what I plan on doing. But anyways, I don't think no one has it. Okay, curious how it will be. Wind forecast. Sure. So let's do the wind forecast really quickly. Let's go to the RFS. I just feel like that model is handling this a bit better than other high resolution models with its wind footprint, at least. So this first big storm comes in Tuesday night. So this would be 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Winds get strong in the valley. Definitely bet on wind gusts over 50, maybe getting close to 60 miles an hour as this wind fetch moves up. And it stays that way for a while. You can see it right here, really windy. Overnight Tuesday and a Wednesday. And it looks like winds should taper off by early Wednesday morning before the second bigger storm system comes in. And this one, that is dangerous. Those are some dangerous winds right there moving onshore. And this model in particular, yeah, has red over the valley, indicating wind gusts will probably be stronger than the Tuesday night in a Wednesday storm, probably gusting over at least 60 miles an hour, 50 to 60. All right. Maybe a brief live Tuesday night if that big one shifts. Oh gosh, yeah, Raptor, that's what I just got done saying. I might be live on YouTube on Tuesday night, and more than likely, confidence is a bit higher for the stream Wednesday night because that's been settled pretty well on that storm. But this one's moving around a little bit more, and I want to see what ends up happening throughout the day Monday to see what that's going to look like. Do you know the expected snowfall for Yosemite? Yosemite is not going to get snow at all throughout most of this. In fact, probably no snow at all. It's going to fall over Half Dome, Clouds Rest. El Capitan is going to get snow, but not at the Yosemite floor, valley floor. Maybe a rain-snow mix briefly, but I don't think it's going to be very accumulative at all. I wouldn't be surprised if Yosemite does shut down due to some flooding that does come up pretty quickly. That's the thing that I'm a little concerned about. Chance of thunderstorms in Bakersfield. Bakersfield is definitely going to get some thunderstorms as the front passes its way through. Especially, yeah, Tuesday night and a Wednesday. No, wait. Wednesday night. Oh, no, hold on. Yeah, so maybe Wednesday morning might get some thunderstorms as the front passes its way through. Maybe some pop-up thunderstorms on Wednesday before the next band of rain rolls through there for sure. You can see it right here. Heavy rain, both events. And so that might bring some thunderstorms and then maybe another swing through with more impulsive moisture. But yeah, Cheesy Force 54 asked me that question. Thank you for that. Yeah, long story short, big time. If tonight's not the night for rainfall, it will be the night on Tuesday night and beyond that we will be getting a lot more rainfall. But it really is in the foothills, mainly over Roseville or Loomis. Really just dumping. Not much here, though, over Rio Vista, over Woodland, Dixon at all. All right. Well, anyways, I think that's it for tonight. Thank you all for tuning in. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Please share this live stream with your family and friends on social media because it's going to be a video once this is all out. I'll be live again, maybe tomorrow night if necessary, but kind of a chance of that for tomorrow night and also for Tuesday night with all of this active weather that we're seeing. But definitely probably Wednesday night will be the night that I actually go. Oh, and they just expired the flood discussion there on Q. But yeah,